Zara wiped sweat from her blue forehead as she checked the readings on her research vessel's monitor. The unstable star glowed bright orange through the view screen, beautiful but deadly. As a scientist from Elrax, she had volunteered for this solo mission to collect data on unusual stellar formations near the border of human space. Disgusting that we must work so close to their territory, she muttered to herself, adjusting her scanner arrays. Like all Elraxians, Zara had been taught since childhood that humans were dangerous primitives. Their rapid rise to spacefaring status was seen as a fluke, their technology stolen or copied from more advanced races. Humans were considered unpredictable, emotional, and not to be trusted. Her six-fingered hand moved across the control panel, recording another set of readings. Her ship, the Starlight Seeker Asterisk, was small but advanced, perfect for scientific missions requiring minimal crew. The silvery oval vessel featured technology far beyond what humans could create, or so she had always believed. A sudden alarm blared through the cabin. Zara jumped up from her seat, her heart racing. Red warning lights flashed across her control panel. System failure detected in primary reactor core, the ship's computer announced in a calm voice. Containment breach imminent. Estimated time to critical failure, 15 minutes. Run diagnostics, Zara commanded, her fingers flying across the controls. Identify cause and suggest solutions. Cause unknown. Solar radiation levels higher than anticipated. Core containment systems failing. No viable solutions available. Zara felt her throat tighten. She was too close to the star, and its radiation was interfering with her ship's systems. The Starlight Seeker Asterisk was designed for research, not to withstand extreme conditions for extended periods. Activate emergency distress beacon, she ordered, knowing it was likely futile. This region was barely charted, and the nearest Elraxian vessel was days away. Distress signal activated, broadcasting on all frequencies. Zara slumped in her chair, watching as system after system began to fail. The life support would be next, followed by artificial gravity, and finally the radiation shielding. She pulled out a small recording device, deciding to document her final moments for scientific purposes. This is Science Officer Zara of the Elraxian Research Fleet. My vessel has suffered catastrophic system failures near star HD 400 and 59,872. Her voice cracked. I do not expect rescue. If humans find this recording, know that I died in pursuit of knowledge for my people. Do not defile my remains for your primitive studies. Aboard the Earth Alliance vessel Horizon Asterisk, Navigation Officer Lisa Patel looked up from her station with confusion. Captain, I'm picking up a distress signal. Non-human origin. Captain Jack Miller, a tall man with dark skin and kind eyes, moved to her station. Can you identify it? It's Elraxian, sir. A small research vessel. They're reporting complete system failure. The bridge fell silent. Elraxians were notoriously isolationist and viewed humans with open disdain. Contact between the species had been minimal and rarely friendly. How far? Jack asked. About 30 minutes at maximum speed, sir. But, Lisa hesitated, they're in a dangerous position near that unstable star. Radiation levels are extremely high. First Officer Diane Powell cleared her throat. Captain, Elraxian authorities might view a rescue attempt as an intrusion. This could cause a diplomatic incident. Jack stood straight, his decision already made. We're not politicians, we're spacefarers. Someone's in trouble, and we're the only ones who can help. Plot a course to their location, maximum speed. He turned to communications. Alert medical to prepare for a possible non-human patient, and get Lieutenant Sam Carter's rescue team ready. We got less than 30 minutes to save that Elraxian. As the Horizon Asterisk changed course, Zara's ship continued its slow descent into catastrophic failure. Its lone occupant unaware that humans, the species she had been taught to despise, were racing against time to save her life. Lieutenant Sam Carter checked his rescue suit one last time as the shuttle detached from the Horizon Asterisk. Through the view screen, he could see the small Ilraxian vessel drifting dangerously close to the unstable star. Its sleek silver hull reflected the orange glow, making it look like it was already on fire. "Radiation levels are climbing," warned Kate Wright, the shuttle pilot. Her fingers moved quickly over the controls as she guided them toward the failing ship. "We have maybe 20 minutes before we hit dangerous exposure levels." Sam nodded. "That should be enough time. Just get us docked, and we'll handle the rest." The four-person rescue team watched as Kate skillfully aligned their shuttle with the Ilraxian ship's emergency airlock. A dull thud and hiss confirmed a successful connection. "Remember," Sam told his team, "we don't know how the Ilraxian will react to us. They're not exactly fans of humans, but our job is to save lives, not worry about politics." The team nodded, checking their equipment one last time before entering the airlock. Their suits would protect them from radiation for a short time, but every minute counted. Inside the Ilraxian vessel, emergency lights cast an eerie blue glow over curved walls covered in strange symbols. The air was thin but breathable. "Life signs," Sam asked through his helmet comm. "One reading, forward section," replied Greg Nelson, the team's medical officer, looking at his scanner. "Still alive but showing signs of distress." They moved quickly through the ship, noting the advanced technology around them. The Ilraxians might look down on humans, but Sam couldn't help feeling impressed by their engineering. When they reached the bridge, they found her. The Ilraxian scientist was slumped in her chair, her blue skin pale, and her breathing shallow. Four-fingered hands clutched the edges of her seat. Large, almond-shaped eyes with purple irises stared at them in shock and fear. Zora couldn't believe what she was seeing. Humans. In her ship, wearing protective suits that looked far less advanced than Ilraxian technology, yet somehow they had managed to dock with her failing vessel. "Stay back," she shouted, grabbing a small device from her belt. It wasn't a weapon. Ilraxian research vessels didn't carry any, but they wouldn't know that. Sam raised his hand slowly. "We received your distress call. We're here to help you." "Help." Zara spat the word. "Humans don't help. You take, you steal. What do you really want?" "To get you out of here alive," Sam replied calmly. "Your ship is failing. The radiation will kill you if you stay." A loud crack echoed through the vessel as another system failed. The lights flickered. 10 minutes until critical radiation exposure, Kate's voice warned over the comm. Sam made a decision. Slowly, carefully, he removed his helmet, revealing his face to the alien woman. His brown hair was cut short, and his green eyes looked directly at her without fear or disgust. Zara gasped. She had seen images of humans before, but never one in person. He looked so normal, yet so alien with his flat face, small eyes, and strange rounded ears. "My name is Sam Carter. I'm a rescue specialist. Your ship is about to be destroyed by radiation from that star. We have a shuttle docked and ready to take you to safety. Why would you risk your lives for me?" Zara asked, genuinely confused. "We are not allies." "Because you needed help," Sam said simply. "That's reason enough." A violent shudder ran through the ship. Warning alarms blared. "Radiation shield failing," announced the Ilraxian computer. "Core breach in 8 minutes. We need to go now," Greg urged. Zara stood but hesitated. "I would rather die with dignity than be a prisoner or test subject for humans." Sam shook his head. "You won't be either. Once you're safe, we'll contact your people and arrange your return. I promise." Another explosion rocked the ship. This time, a section of ceiling broke loose directly above Zora. Without hesitation, Sam lunged forward. "Look out!" Time seemed to slow down as the ceiling panel crashed downward. Sam's body moved before his mind could even process what was happening. He threw himself forward, pushing Zora aside and covering her with his own body. The heavy metal panel struck his back with a sickening thud. Pain shot through Sam's body, but his suit had absorbed most of the impact. He groaned, rolling to the side. "Sam." Greg rushed forward, helping him up. "Are you hurt?" "I'll live." Sam winced, struggling to his feet. "How's she?" Zara stood frozen, her large purple eyes wide with shock. This human had just risked his life to save hers. It made no sense according to everything she had been taught. "Why?" she whispered. "Why would you do that?" Another explosion rocked the ship before Sam could answer. "We need to go now." Kate's voice crackled over the comm. "Radiation levels are spiking. The star is becoming unstable." Greg helped Sam put his helmet back on while Ben Ellis, the fourth rescue team member, gently took Zora's arm. "Please," Ben said, "we need to leave immediately." This time, Zora didn't resist. She allowed herself to be guided through the corridors of her dying ship. As they moved, she couldn't stop staring at Sam, who was limping slightly but still moving quickly. They reached the airlock just as the ship's lights failed completely. Emergency systems gave out with a final electronic wail. The five of them pushed through into the human shuttle, the door sealing behind them with a hiss. "Everyone secure," Kate called from the pilot's seat. Detaching in 3, 2, 1. The shuttle pulled away from the Elraxian vessel. Through the view screen, Zara watched as her ship, the culmination of years of Elraxian engineering, began to break apart under the star's relentless radiation. "Hang on," Kate warned as she pushed the engines to maximum. "This is going to be rough." The shuttle shot away from the dying ship, racing against the radiation wave that would follow its destruction. Everyone was thrown against their restraints as Kate executed a series of evasive maneuvers. Behind them, the Starlight Seeker finally surrendered to the star's power. It exploded in a brilliant flash of light, sending debris and radiation outward in all directions. The shuttle shook violently as the edge of the shock wave caught them, but Kate's skilled piloting kept them intact. After several tense minutes, the ride smoothed out. "We're clear," Kate announced, returning to the Horizon *. With immediate danger past, Greg moved to check Sam's injuries. He helped remove Sam's helmet and the top portion of his suit, revealing an angry red bruise spreading across his upper back. "You're lucky," Greg said, applying a cooling medical spray to the area. "Nothing broken, but you'll be sore for days." Zara watched the proceedings with growing confusion. The humans were treating their injured comrade with genuine concern. There was no criticism for risking himself for an alien, no anger at his decision, just care and respect. "I do not understand," she finally said, her voice quiet. "You had no reason to save me, especially not at risk to yourself." Sam looked up at her, wincing slightly as Greg continued treatment. "What do you mean? You were in danger. That's reason enough. But I am not human. I am Elraxian. Our peoples have no alliance, no agreements. My life should have no value to you." Sam's expression showed surprise. "All life has value. It doesn't matter what planet you're from." The other humans nodded in agreement, as if this was the most obvious thing in the universe. "Is this common behavior for humans?" Zora asked. "Helping others," Ben replied. "Yes, it's who we are." "That's what humans do," Sam added simply. "We help when we can." Zora fell silent, her worldview crumbling around her. Everything she had been taught about humans, that they were selfish, primitive creatures interested only in their own advancement, was being challenged by their actions. As the shuttle docked with the Horizon *, Zora realized that her rescue was just the beginning. She was about to enter a human ship, surrounded by the very species she had been raised to despise. But for the first time, she felt something other than contempt when thinking about humans. She felt curiosity. Zara stood nervously at the shuttle airlock as it connected with the main ship. She had never been aboard a human vessel before. In the Elraxian educational system, human ships were described as crude, uncomfortable, and barely functional, cobbled together from stolen technology. When the doors slid open, she was not prepared for what she saw. The Horizon's docking bay was spacious, well-lit, and meticulously organized. Crew members moved with purpose, and everything had a place. It was not at all the chaotic environment she had expected. Captain Jack Miller waited by the doorway. He stepped forward with a small, respectful bow, an Elraxian greeting gesture that surprised Zara. "Welcome aboard the Horizon *. I'm Captain Jack Miller. You're safe now." Zara returned the gesture automatically. "I am Science Officer Zara of the Elraxian Research Fleet. Thank you for the rescue." The words felt strange on her tongue. Thanking humans was not something she had ever imagined doing. "Lieutenant Carter will need to visit our medical bay," Great explained, helping Sam step off the shuttle. "The Science Officer Zara, should probably be checked as well." "Of course," Jack nodded. "Dr. Chen is expecting you both." As they walked through the corridors of the Horizon *, Zara couldn't help but stare. The ship was nothing like she had been taught. The technology, while different from Elraxian designs, was clearly advanced and well-maintained. And the crew, they were so diverse. Different skin colors, heights, body types, all working together seamlessly. In the medical bay, a small woman with kind eyes greeted them. "I'm Dr. Olivia Chen," she said to Zara. "I've never treated an Elraxian before, but I studied your species' basic physiology. With your permission, I'd like to check you for radiation exposure." Zara hesitated. "You are asking my permission?" "Of course." Olivia looked surprised. "I wouldn't examine you without it." Another piece of Zara's preconceptions crumbled. She had expected to be treated as a specimen, not a patient with rights. "You may proceed," Zara said, sitting on the examination table. While Dr. Chen examined Zara, Sam was treated on a nearby bed. Despite his own pain, he kept glancing over to make sure the Elraxian was being treated well. After the examinations, Captain Miller returned. "Good news," he said. "We've made contact with an Elraxian outpost in the Kygel system. They're sending a ship to meet us, but it will take about 5 days to reach our rendezvous point." Zara nodded. 5 days on a human ship. The idea would have horrified her yesterday. But now she felt a mix of anxiety and curiosity. "Until then," Jack continued, "you'll be our guest. Not a prisoner," he added, seeing her expression. "You'll have your own quarters and access to common areas. Lieutenant Carter has volunteered to be your guide once he's recovered." "That is acceptable," Zara replied, not knowing what else to say. Later, in her assigned quarters, Zara sat on the surprisingly comfortable bed, trying to process the day's events. The room was simple but had everything she needed, including a computer terminal adjusted for her use. A soft knock interrupted her thoughts. The door slid open to reveal a young human woman. "Hi, I'm Lisa Patel, Navigation Officer. I brought you some clothes and personal items you might need." She placed a small bundle on a table. "I'm also supposed to tell you that dinner is in an hour if you'd like to join us." "Join the crew for meals?" Zara asked, surprised. Lisa smiled. "Of course. Where else would you eat?" After Lisa left, Zara examined the items she'd brought, all thoughtfully selected to accommodate Elraxian physiology. Another small crack appeared in her lifelong beliefs. Her terminal beeped with an incoming message. It was from Elraxian High Command, marked urgent. With trembling fingers, Zara opened it. The stern face of Commander Vex appeared on screen, his expression severe. "Science Officer Zara, we are disturbed by reports that you have been captured by humans. Remain calm. Do not share any information with them. We demand your immediate return and will not negotiate with your captors. The vessel coming to retrieve you has orders to use force if necessary." The message ended, leaving Zara stunned. High Command had completely misunderstood the situation. They weren't coming to meet her. They were coming to rescue her from rescuers. She looked around at her comfortable room. thought of Sam risking his life to save her, and felt, for the first time, ashamed of her people's prejudice. Zara stood awkwardly at the entrance to the mess hall, unsure if she should enter. The large room was filled with human crew members eating, talking, and laughing. No one seemed to notice her at first. "Hey, there you are." Sam Carter waved from a nearby table. His back was bandaged, but he moved more easily now. Zara walked over, aware of curious glances from the crew. "I saved you a seat," Sam said, gesturing to an empty chair. "The chef made something special that should be compatible with your biology." Zara sat down carefully. "You researched Elraxian dietary needs." "Dr. Chen helped," Sam admitted. "We want you to be comfortable here." A plate was placed before her containing food that resembled traditional Elraxian cuisine. Zara took a small bite and was surprised by the pleasant taste. "This is acceptable," she said, which was high praise from an Elraxian. Over the next few days, Zara spent time exploring the ship under Sam's guidance. Each new discovery challenged her preconceptions about humans. In engineering, she met Pete Johnson, a cheerful man with grease-stained hands who proudly showed her the ship's engines. "It's a hybrid system," Pete explained, pointing to the glowing core. "We adapted the traditional fusion drive with some new ideas." Zara examined the design with growing interest. "This cooling system is quite clever." Pete beamed. "Thanks. It was my idea. Took 3 years to perfect." "You invented this?" Zara couldn't hide her surprise. Elraxian propaganda claimed humans only copied technology from other species. "Sure did. Want to see how it works?" For 2 hours, they discussed engineering principles. Zara found herself engaged in the most stimulating technical conversation she'd had in years. Pete didn't treat her as an alien or an enemy, just a fellow engineer. Later, in the science lab, Zara observed human researchers working on various projects. One woman, Lynn Meyer, was analyzing star formation patterns, the same field as Zara's research. "Would you like to see my data?" Lynn asked when she noticed Zara's interest. Soon, they were deep in discussion about stellar anomalies. Zara shared some of her own observations, and Lynn listened with genuine interest. "Your perspective is fascinating," Lynn said. "We should combine our findings." In the recreation area, Zara watched humans playing games, exercising, and socializing. Sam taught her a card game called poker, which she quickly mastered despite his warnings that her face was too expressive. "You're giving away your good hands," he laughed as she won another round. "Perhaps I am intentionally misleading you," Zara replied, surprising herself with the playful tone. On the 4th day, an alert sounded throughout the ship. Zara was in her quarters when Sam came to find her. "We're detecting an unusual energy signature," he explained. "Captain Miller asks if you'd come to the bridge." On the bridge, the crew was analyzing a strange phenomenon in nearby space. "It's like nothing we've seen before," Lisa said from her station. "Energy readings are off the charts." Captain Miller turned to Zara. "We thought you might have some insight. It appears to be affecting our course to the rendezvous point." Zara studied the readings. "This is a quantum fracture. They're rare but well documented in Elraxian science. If you attempt to pass through it, your ship could suffer severe damage." "Can we go around it?" Jack asked. Zara hesitated. She was about to share advanced Elraxian knowledge with humans, something strictly forbidden. But these humans had saved her life and treated her with respect. "I can show you how to map its boundaries," she decided. "And I know how to adjust your shields to minimize any effects." The bridge crew watched in amazement as Zara worked with their systems, implementing changes that would have taken their engineers weeks to develop. "Thank you," Jack said sincerely when she finished. "You've potentially saved my ship and crew." "You saved me," Zara replied simply. "This seems a fair exchange." That evening, as Zara prepared for sleep, she realized something profound had changed within her. She no longer saw these humans as enemies or inferiors. They were simply people, different from Elraxians, yes, but worthy of respect and friendship. Tomorrow they would reach the rendezvous point, and she would face her own people's prejudice. The message from Commander Vex still troubled her. What would happen when the Ilraxian ship arrived expecting to find her held captive, only to discover she had been helping the humans? Zara made a decision. She would tell Captain Miller about the message. The humans deserved to know what they might face. An attack. Captain Miller's expression was grave as he studied the message Zora had shown him. The bridge crew had gathered for an emergency meeting. Not exactly, Zora explained. They believe I am being held against my will. They intend to rescue me, using force if necessary. But that's not true, Sam protested. You're our guest. My people have deep prejudices against humans, Zora said, her voice filled with shame. They cannot imagine that you would help me without ulterior motives. Jack paced the bridge, considering their options. We could try explaining the situation. Commander Vex will not listen. Zara shook her head. He has built his career on anti-human sentiment. What if we just let you go in a shuttle before they arrive? Lisa suggested. They would assume you forced me to say whatever I might transmit, Zara replied. And they would still demand to inspect your ship for stolen Ilraxian technology. The captain nodded grimly. So either way, we're facing a confrontation. I am sorry, Zara said quietly. I have brought danger to those who saved me. This isn't your fault, Sam assured her, placing a gentle hand on her shoulder. Before anyone could speak further, alarms blared throughout the ship. Captain, the sensor officer called out. Ship approaching at high speed, not from the direction of the rendezvous point. On the main screen, a sleek predatory vessel appeared, its design clearly Ilraxian, but different from standard military ships. It was darker, with red markings along its hull. Zara gasped. That's not a regular Ilraxian vessel. It's a purifier ship. Purifiers? Jack asked. Extremists, Zora explained quickly. They believe any contact with other species contaminates Ilraxian purity. They're a radical faction, not officially sanctioned by my government. The ship fired without warning. The Horizon * shook as energy blasts struck its shields. Shields at 80%, called out the tactical officer. They're targeting our engines and weapon systems. Return fire, defensive pattern only, Jack ordered, and open a channel. The communications officer worked frantically. They're not responding to hails, sir. They're coming around for another pass, Lisa warned. The purifier ship fired again, more precisely this time. The Horizon * rocked violently. Shields at 50%, weapons systems damaged. Jack turned to Zara. Any weaknesses we should know about? Zara hesitated only briefly before answering. Their forward shields are strongest. Target the junction between the main hull and the engine section. The captain nodded to his tactical officer, who adjusted their aim. The Horizon's * remaining weapons fired, striking the vulnerable spot Zora had identified. The purifier ship veered off, trailing debris. Direct hit, the tactical officer reported, but they're still operational. They're launching boarding craft, Lisa warned. 5 small vessels, approaching fast. They're trying to board us to get to Zara, Sam realized. All security teams to defense positions, Jack ordered. Protect our guest at all costs. Sam turned to Zora. Come with me. We need to get you somewhere safe. They hurried through the corridors as the ship shuddered under another attack. Crew members rushed to battle stations, their faces determined but not panicked. Your people are very disciplined, Zara noted as they ran. We train for emergencies, Sam replied, though usually not Ilraxian extremists. They reached a secure area near the center of the ship just as the lights flickered. Emergency systems activated, bathing the corridors in red light. Hull breach on Deck 4, came the announcement over the ship's comm system. Boarders reported in sections 7 and 9. Sam's communicator beeped. Carter here. Lieutenant. Jack's voice was tense. Boarders are heading toward your position. They seem to be tracking Zara somehow. Zara touched her wrist. My identification implant. All Ilraxians have them. They can track its signal. Sam looked around quickly. We need to. The door at the end of the corridor exploded inward. 3 Ilraxians in dark armor stepped through, weapons raised. Their faces were covered by helmets with red visors. Stand aside, human, the leader commanded. The contaminated one belongs to us. Sam stepped in front of Zara, his own weapon drawn. She doesn't belong to anyone. She's under our protection. Protection. The Purifier leader laughed coldly. You have corrupted her with human ideas. She must be cleansed or eliminated. Zara moved forward, standing beside Sam instead of behind him. I have not been corrupted. I have learned truth instead of propaganda. Then you are lost, the Purifier declared, raising his weapon, and must be purged. Energy blasts flew back and forth in the corridor as Sam tried to keep Zara protected. The Purifiers were advancing steadily, their superior weapons slowly overwhelming Sam's defenses. We can't stay here, Sam said, checking his weapons charge. It's almost depleted. Zara looked around desperately. Her eyes fell on a maintenance panel near the floor. There, she pointed. That leads to the engineering control systems. Sam provided covering fire as Zara quickly removed the panel. They crawled inside just as the Purifiers reached their position. Where are we going? Sam whispered as they navigated the narrow maintenance tunnel. The communication center, Zara replied. I have an idea. They emerged in a small room filled with communication equipment. Fortunately, it was empty. The crew were all defending against the boarders. What's your plan? Sam asked, watching the door while Zara worked on the systems. The Purifiers believe I've been contaminated by human ideas, she said, fingers flying over the controls. So I will show them they are right. Her hands moved with surprising familiarity over the human technology. On my research ship, I studied human communication frequencies. I know how to boost our signal to reach both the Purifier ship and the approaching official Ilraxian vessel. The main screen lit up as Zara activated the ship-wide broadcast system. She took a deep breath and faced the camera. I am Science Officer Zara of the Ilraxian Research Fleet, she began, her voice strong and clear. I speak to all Ilraxians who can hear this message. What we have been taught about humans is wrong. In other parts of the ship, the fighting paused as both humans and Ilraxian boarders saw Zara's face appear on every screen. 5 days ago, I was dying. My ship was failing. These humans risked their lives to save me, a stranger, an alien they had never met. They asked for nothing in return. Zara gestured to Sam. This human shielded me with his own body. Twice. He was injured protecting me. Not because I was valuable to him or his people, simply because I needed help. She leaned closer to the camera. I have seen how humans live. They are not the primitive, selfish creatures our teachings claim. They are creative, compassionate, and brave. They value life, all life, not just their own. On the bridge, Captain Miller and his crew watched in amazement. Throughout the ship, the Purifiers hesitated, weapons still raised but no longer firing. If learning this truth makes me contaminated, Zara continued, then I accept that label. But I call upon all Ilraxians to question what they have been taught, to seek truth rather than cling to comfortable prejudice. She straightened to her full height, looking more confident than Sam had ever seen her. To the Purifiers attacking this vessel, you dishonor our people with your actions. These humans saved me when my own people were too far away to help. They deserve our gratitude, not our weapons. The door to the communication room burst open. 2 Purifiers entered, weapons aimed at Zara. Sam raised his nearly depleted weapon, ready for one last stand. Before anyone could fire, a new alarm sounded throughout the ship. Another vessel approaching, announced the ship's computer. Ilraxian diplomatic cruiser. The main screen split to show a stern-faced Ilraxian in formal attire. This is High Ambassador Talon of the Elraxian Diplomatic Corps. I order all Purifier forces to stand down immediately. You act without authorization and in violation of our laws. The Purifiers in the room hesitated, then slowly lowered their weapons. Science Officer Zara, the ambassador continued, your broadcast was received by our vessel. It is most unexpected. I request to come aboard the human ship to discuss this situation personally. 3 hours later, Zara stood in the Horizons conference room beside Captain Miller and Sam. Across from them sat Ambassador Talon and 2 aides. The Purifiers had retreated to their ship, now held in check by the larger diplomatic vessel. Your actions are unprecedented, Talon said to Zara. But your words have created quite a stir among our leadership. I spoke only truth, Zara replied. Talon nodded slowly. Perhaps it is time for truth. I am authorized to open preliminary diplomatic discussions with these humans, if they are willing. Jack smiled. We are definitely willing, Ambassador. And, Talon added, looking at Zara, we require a cultural liaison, someone who understands both Elraxians and humans. Zara's eyes widened. Me. Who better? Talon asked. Though you may need human assistance. Sam stepped forward. I volunteer, if my captain approves. Jack nodded. Lieutenant Carter would be an excellent representative for humanity. As the details were discussed, Zara found herself standing beside Sam near the viewport. Stars streamed past, each one potentially harboring new life, new understanding.